So let me get this straight. More than 20 businesses were vandalized. Almost 200 people were arrested. The mayor of Los Angeles issued a curfew, and Maxine Waters had the nerve to go on TV and say that there was no violence. Really? This level of dishonesty is both embarrassing and dangerous. And this week, we got a front row seat to the Democrat trifecta of denial. Maxine Waters is lying, Karen Bass is covering, and Gavin Newsom gaslighting. But Donald Trump, he brought the receipts. Welcome to Nelly Miranda. Before we get into today's topics, please make sure you like and subscribe as it really helps support the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. So, Grandma Maxine Waters, the same 86-year-old California congresswoman who once encouraged people to get in their faces, is now pretending the LA protests are nothing but peaceful flower walks in the park. She told the press this week, quote, "There was no violence, no damage, no vandalism," while standing in a city under emergency curfew after a night of destruction.
Nobody was shot. Nobody was killed. Get it in your head. Don't think that somehow, because they called out the National Guard, there was violence. There was no violence.
We know overnight the Adidas store, a jewelry store, Apple store, shoe palace, a dispensary, not just one but two, and a pharmacy have been broken into and looted. Most of the stores on Broadway have been looted. I mean, a lot of them are multiple stores that were, the majority of them have been on Broadway. More buildings and police vehicles have also been defaced. Mayor Bass holding a briefing at the Emergency Operations Center today to update us all on protests as Marines are on the way.
You can't possibly be supporting immigrants and vandalize our city, and understand that if you do that, and it is 100% unacceptable, you will be arrested, and it might not happen that day. So don't think because you went home that night that you are free. There's a lot of videotape, there's investigations that will take place, and you will be held accountable and frankly need to be separated from the people who are really fighting on behalf of our immigrant community.
How detached do you have to be to lie like that with a straight face? Let me remind you, this is the same woman fined nearly $70,000 for campaign finance violations just a couple weeks ago. And now she's back in front of the cameras, rewriting reality like it's nothing. This is what happens when you've been in Congress for way too long with zero accountability. Hillary Clinton and Adam Schiff both chimed in, downplaying the riots happening in LA. I would like to think that these individuals are educated people with the ability to use both Google and YouTube. There is no way you could watch the videos and pretend that the protests are a walk in the park and that Trump is the one who caused whatever chaos there is.
And Hillary Clinton decided to add her 2 cents, writing, California Governor Newsom didn't request the National Guard be deployed to his state following peaceful demonstrations. Trump sent them anyway. It's the first time in 60 years a president has made that choice. Trump's goal isn't to keep Californians safe. His goal is to cause chaos because chaos is good for Trump. Hillary has since turned off the comments on that post, if that's an indication of how it was received.
Yeah, they weren't very receptive to that point, the people on the Twitters.
So we heard from Maxine Waters, we heard from Hillary Clinton. Here are other Democrats and media pundits reacting to this as well. Watch.
All right. Things are peaceful here in Los Angeles. I hope and pray that they stay that way.
Saturday night in Paramount, they had this situation under control. Overnight, LAPD got that under control.
That's just delusional. You literally cannot trust these people with your order at McDonald's. It's disgusting. Mayor Karen Bass has imposed a curfew starting yesterday, June 10th, for a 1 square mile zone of downtown Los Angeles. Her reasoning, public safety. Really? Businesses are being destroyed. Federal troops had to be called in. But where's the outrage from the so-called defenders of democracy about militarized streets in LA?
I wanted to let the city know that I have declared a local emergency and issued a curfew for downtown Los Angeles to stop the vandalism, to stop the looting. Many businesses have now been affected by or vandalized. Last night, there were 23 businesses that were looted. And I think that if you drive through downtown LA, the graffiti is everywhere and has caused significant damages to businesses and a number of properties. Let me just say that a curfew has been in consideration for several days, but clearly after the violence that took place last night, 23 businesses looted, and just the extensive, widespread nature of the vandalism, we reached a tipping point and declared a state of emergency and called for the curfew.
She's acting like she had nothing to do with this mess. Even though her soft on crime policies, sanctuary city status, and open support for anti-ICE protests helped spark the chaos to begin with. What's wild is she even had to tell the people who don't live or work in downtown to stay out or get arrested. Arrested, you say, for curfew violations, but illegal immigration that's apparently off limits? Oh, okay. And remember, these protests started because ICE was doing its job. Federal immigration raids began last Thursday, and instead of cooperating, the city erupted in protest, vandalism, and looting. Now, let's move on to Governor Gavin Newsom. Because while LA was burning and ICE was rolling in, slick-haired Newsom decided to play political victim. He told the press that Donald Trump never called to inform him about the immigration raids. Donald Trump just blindsided California, supposedly. But there's only one problem. Trump dropped the call logs. Not only did President Trump call Newsom, he did it more than once. He even looped in DHS and the National Guard in advance. This wasn't a surprise attack. It was a coordinated operation, but Newsom tried to spin it for the cameras like some kind of federal ambush.
Mr. President, when is the last time you spoke with Governor Newsom?
A day ago. Called him up to tell him, got to do a better job. He's doing a bad job, causing a lot of death and a lot of potential death. If we didn't send out the National Guard, and last time we gave him a little additional help, you would have, Los Angeles would be burning right now. Los Angeles would be not a lot different than what you saw take place in California and Los Angeles just a little while ago. And, you know, you got to remember, we have the Olympics coming. And we don't want people looking at Los Angeles like it would have been. It would have been bad. Last night, they had total control. If we didn't have the military in there, the National Guard, and then we also sent in some Marines, we had some bad people. We have people, they look in your face and they spit right in your face. They're animals. And these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid troublemakers.
Once again, the Democrats' instincts is to lie, deny, and cry Trump is bad instead of stepping up and doing their jobs. California is a sanctuary state. LA is a sanctuary city. What did they think was going to happen when law enforcement actually enforced immigration laws? President Trump, now in his second term, wasn't about to let Newsom's lie slide. He released the call logs and communications showing that Gavin was in fact notified.
Gavin Newsom, after President Trump said in the noon hour in the Oval Office that he called him yesterday or the other day, Gavin Newsom tweeted the following. He said, quote, "There was no call. Not even a voicemail. Americans should be alarmed that a president deploying Marines on our streets doesn't even know who he's talking to." Well, President Trump contacted me from Air Force One on his way to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where he'll be in just a little while. He said the first call to Gavin Newsom was not picked up. The second call Gavin picked up. We spoke for 16 minutes. I told him to essentially, quote, and this is quoting the president, "get his ass in gear and stop the riots, which were out of control more than anything else. This shows what a liar he is." Said I never called. So here is the evidence. And here is the call log that the president sent me from his phone. This was June the 7th. Now, granted, this was on Saturday. But look, there's 1:22 o'clock in the morning. Which would have been 10 o'clock at night, 10:22 at night, California time. There was an outgoing call for 4 seconds. And then there was an outgoing call for 16 minutes. So that from the president, which says is proof that he spoke to Gavin Newsom early in the morning, our time, late at night, Friday night, would have been June 6th, I guess, in Los Angeles.
Trump is doing what he was elected to do, which is secure the border, enforce immigration, and protect American communities. Now, what is shocking about this is how many elected officials are willing to lie to protect illegal behavior over the rights of their own constituents. And that brings us back to the real issue here. The Democratic Party is more committed to protecting illegal immigrants and scoring political points than they are to protecting the people and businesses of Los Angeles. These past few days exposed the entire charade. Maxine Waters lying to the press, Karen Bass covering for the chaos that she enabled, Gavin Newsom playing the victim, and Donald Trump, like it or not, being the only one in the room telling the truth. Do you think cities like LA can survive under this kind of leadership? Or is it time for states like California to clean house politically? Let me know in the comments, and as always, if honest commentary brings you value, please make sure you like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.